Linda Antwi with EUR Web. Rachel, Amy,
Hey, Linda.
let me tell you, this is my new favorite show. I binged it in 2 days. It's incredible. So I wanted to start with you, Amy. What inspired this? How did you get involved in this? And I wanted to talk a little bit about Lord of the Flies and if there's any correlation to that story.
Sure. So Sarah Stryker, who is the creator of the show and just an unbelievable, brilliant, talented writer with a very specific point of view, and yet a really large scale understanding of the world, I think, she's like a sensitive empath of some sort. She got her heart broken. She said, I felt like a teenager again with the intensity of feeling and wondering if I was worthy. And she was an adult. She said, but it reminded her of all those feelings as a teenager. And she wanted to write about that experience. And she just, My So-Called Life is a big inspiration for all of us in the writer's room. But she really felt like, I don't want to just tell, middle of America, upper middle class white girl story. I want to tell a story that is 8 different women's perspectives, views, diversity, socioeconomic diversity. And she just created this beautiful tapestry. And I came onto it after they cast and after the pilot, where they'd found these really authentic, interesting actors to play those young women. It didn't look like central casting. They looked like real women, and that was really thrilling. I fell in love, hook, line, and sinker. Jamie Charzis, who is the first female president of a network, is one of the producers on this. She's a close friend, and we often collaborate together. She said, I think you're going to like this script. She's very casual about stuff. She goes, I think you're going to like it. I think she knew I was going to fall madly in love with it. And she said, the minute I saw which is harder, to be survive a deserted island or your teenage years, I'm paraphrasing it, but for me, that was at the heart of it. So you're seeing all these different perspectives, but the one truth and that one question, which I don't think is easily answered. And then what I love about television and always have, and why I prefer TV writing to movie writing, is you get to hire a really diverse, interesting writing staff who then gets to help you flesh out and find these characters and give them like a true specificity. Sex and the City, for me, same thing. Everything had to be specific and true. And the way you do that is by hiring people who are willing to talk about their lives and their experiences.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, Rachel, I was a part of every single person on this show, and all the women specifically. I love not only the diversity, but I love the fact that you had Indigenous, Black, everything. You just had everything. You nailed it. And did you find that your character, Gretchen, was she really all about women power and empowering women, or was it really about the project?
Well, I think kind of all zealots, she's come from academia. She has enormous trust in her own ideas. I think like many in the world now, she's feeling that the time for patience is over and the time for revolutionary change is coming, because the wait and be patient, has not moved the dial fast enough, not because of box ticking, not because, we should, but because look at the state of the world, look at the degree of inequality. Jacinda Ardern is the only leader in the world really talking about the social impact of every single policy. She calls it, Build Back Better. She doesn't want to build New Zealand back the way it was. The disadvantage within certain sections of the community there are being addressed. She believes we cannot move forward together until we move forward, together. Mm-hmm. So you have a woman that's really, doing something radical. And the question, I guess, is when do people do things radical? When does radicalism happen? And I think radicalism happens when, the previous generation ideas have been entrenched and no longer working. You can see I've drunk the Kool-Aid, right? So I think she's a kind of hero / anti-hero for our time, in that any zealot, anyone that passionately believes that they're right, their ideas are right, is likely to put up with a fair bit of collateral as a means to an end. Now, sometimes that end, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, the American Civil War, has been righteous. But that's not to say that, there is huge amount of blood in families, in the soil, generations of men sacrificed at the altar of change. So yes, she's kind of prepared to sacrifice these 8 women at the altar of change, because in her view, male leadership is turning the world into a burning fireball of hell.
And there it is. Right there. Amy, I want to say that I need a season 2, so go ahead and work on that right now, because I binged this and I need more. It's fantastic TV, ladies. I appreciate your time. And
Linda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's so buoyant.
Glad you enjoyed it so much. It's
so good.
Really
ladies.
thrilling to hear.
All right, ladies. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Linda.